Hello everyone, and welcome to today's OpenVoice New Organizer training. My name is Nikki. I'm a Customer Success Manager, and I'll be your presenter today. Here is our agenda. So we're going to start out with the basics of the OpenVoice product, including activating your account if you're a new user and how to adjust your settings. We'll then review the different options available for scheduling your conference calls. Next, we're going to walk through how to start and manage your conference calls, including a review of the call controls and features. And then we're going to wrap up with a quick review of best practices and key takeaways. While we do have a lot to review, you are always going to have access to on-demand training and support resources on the OpenVoice support site, which is simply support.logmein.com/OpenVoice. Here we do have video tutorials, help articles, and user guides you can access whenever you need. I'm going to go ahead and show you a quick tour of that support site. Here is where you can type in a question or a keyword. It's really good about pulling any related articles around that. Notice we do have some how can we help you pre-populated articles. Maybe you want to learn how to get started, or maybe you want to learn about help and troubleshooting. Here you can browse more categories. Scrolling down even further, other help topics. Here's where you can download guides and resources, maybe print it out and have it handy at your desk. You can access our videos. This is going to take you to our entire video library. Then down here, notice contact support. So we are here 24/7. If you ever do need to call in, click Get Connected. It's going to list our global phone numbers, and you can get 24/7 phone support. We do offer live training every week, so if you want to register to attend a live training, click Learn More here, and you can register from this section. Last, I do want to point out Ask a Question. This is our community. If you click Customer Community, it'll take you here, another area to get support. And what's nice is you can actually browse and see what other customers are saying, what questions they're asking about OpenVoice. It's also being monitored internally, so you could definitely enter in product suggestions or any feedback here. We do love hearing from our customers. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump on right back to OpenVoice. So how does it work? OpenVoice is built for simple and productive reservationless audio-only conference calling with up to 500 callers. So this means you do not need to schedule your calls or reserve your conference line to use it. You can actually start a call at any time. As an OpenVoice organizer, you are going to have dedicated toll and toll-free access phone numbers for both domestic and international conferencing. Now, if you're on a corporate account or a multi-user account, everyone at your company with OpenVoice, they're going to use the same phone numbers. However, each person does have their own unique conference room number and organizer PIN. I would like to iterate OpenVoice. It's strictly standalone audio-only conferencing, so there's no screen sharing or video conferencing features with the OpenVoice product. Let's talk a little bit about the two OpenVoice roles. Most likely, most of you are OpenVoice organizers, which is why you're with us today. As an organizer, you do have an OpenVoice account that will give you the ability to schedule, host, and manage conference calls. You are going to have dedicated access phone numbers along with the unique conference room number and a unique organizer PIN. Now, the organizer PIN number, that's what identifies you as the host or the leader of the conference call, so you don't want to share that organizer PIN with anyone. The other role is that of the participant. Participants are invited by organizers to join conference calls, and the participants, they only need the OpenVoice phone number for their country and the conference room number to join. Now, before you start hosting calls with OpenVoice, it is important that you do take a few moments to activate your account online and review your call settings. Now, for those new users out there, when you're first set up with your OpenVoice organizer account, you're going to actually receive two welcome emails. The first welcome email is just a notification that you've been enabled with OpenVoice and a link that invites you to activate your OpenVoice account online and create a password. Activating your user account online, it's actually not required to start using OpenVoice, but we do highly recommend it. Having active credentials is going to give you access to the call web controls. It's also going to allow you to customize your call settings and organizer PIN. Having an active online account and password, it's also needed to utilize our calendar plugins for one-click call scheduling in Outlook or your Google Calendar. So just make sure you create a password and log in online to take advantage of these great tools. Now the second welcome email, that does include your specific conference room information, including the main OpenVoice phone number for your country and your unique conference room number and organizer PIN. Once you receive the email, you can actually start hosting calls immediately. Also included in this email is a link to the OpenVoice organizer website, where you're going to find the full list of the international access numbers available on your account, in addition to direct links for the Outlook plugin and our mobile apps. At the very bottom of the email, notice you're going to have access to quick links to the wallet card, as well as our support and training resources. Remember, we're 24/7 here. Now, once you've activated your account and created your password, it's going to actually launch you right into the organizer website. On the My Conferences page, notice you're going to find the full list of the international access phone numbers enabled on your account. OpenVoice does provide access phone numbers in over 50 countries, but depending on your company settings and access levels, you may only see certain international numbers listed. Now, if you do need to add additional international access numbers, just make sure you contact your internal OpenVoice admin at your company. Now, you also have the ability to customize the organizer PIN. So right here, it will start off as 9 digits, but you can log in, double-click this here, and you can make it something easy to remember. Now, remember, you're going to need to enter in the organizer PIN every time you start a call. So again, maybe you want to make it something like the last 4 digits of your cell phone number or your office extension, something that you won't forget. Now, before hosting your first call, it is important that you do take a quick moment to review and adjust your OpenVoice settings. Now, if you're on a corporate account, these settings, they may already have been set for you by your company administrator. However, you are still going to have the ability to customize based on your preferences and the types of conference calls you're hosting. You can enable the security code feature for an additional prompt, so a numerical code that your participants, they must dial to join. You can set a default security code, or it can be dynamic for each call. You can choose whether or not the participants are going to join muted or unmuted, and you can allow your participants to remain on your conference line once you disconnect. So if this is set to yes, you can actually cap it out, 60 minutes being the max. Maybe you only want it to continue for 10 or 15 minutes. Make sure you set that here. You can disable the arrival or the departure chimes, or you can turn on our roll call feature, which will prompt callers for their name as they join. Scrolling down through the settings, if you need to bill your conference call charges back to clients, you might want to enable our client charge code feature. This enables an additional prompt on the phone bridge for you, the organizer, to dial a charge code every time you start a call. Now, it's up to you to define your charge codes internally. Then at the end of the month, when we send you your invoice, we're going to automatically include a report that's going to break out all your calls and the associated charges by the charge codes that you've used. Finally, each time you do host or record a conference call, OpenVoice is going to send you an email notification with a brief participant report or the link to the recording. If you'd prefer not to receive these emails, just make sure you simply disable them down here under conference notifications. Just set it to no. I do also want to point out that we have quick links to the Outlook plugin and our mobile apps from the left-hand navigation column of the organizer website when you're logged in. And again, another area you can quickly get access to our support and FAQs. It's going to take you straight to the support and training website that we looked at earlier. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the different options you have for scheduling your OpenVoice conference calls. And again, OpenVoice is reservation-less, so scheduling calls, it's not required to use your conference line. You can actually start a call at any time. With that said, OpenVoice does offer several ways for you to schedule your conference calls depending on your setup and preferences. Scheduling a call is really as simple as sharing your call information in an email or an appointment. Simply insert the OpenVoice phone number or numbers and your conference room number and then invite your participants. Now you could even use the signature feature of your email calendar client to make populating this information quicker. You can use our Outlook or Google Calendar plugin to schedule calls directly within Outlook or Google Calendar with one click. Now you may also use the OpenVoice mobile app available for iPhone and Android, which is going to allow you to schedule and start calls directly from your mobile device. And lastly, you may also schedule calls from the Invite and Schedule area of your OpenVoice Organizer website. And let's go ahead and dive in a little bit deeper with each of these scheduling options. Now, one way to schedule an OpenVoice conference call is through the Outlook plugin, and it's highly recommended if you're an Outlook user. Once installed, the plugin will allow you to schedule your conference calls with one click from any Outlook appointment or meeting invite. To get started, first you're going to install the plugin. You can find it in the welcome email, the organizer website, or of course from the support site. Once installed, you can quickly configure the plugin to use your OpenVoice account. This is done from the Add-ins tab in Outlook in the OpenVoice settings. Sign into the plugin with your OpenVoice login credentials. This allows the plugin to access your specific OpenVoice account information. Next, you're going to be able to customize a few settings like choosing your default and preferred OpenVoice phone numbers and any additional international numbers that you always want to populate in the invite every time you schedule a call. Now, once the plugin is installed and configured to your account, you can actually schedule calls with one click using the Add Conference button highlighted here. Outlook is going to automatically populate your conference information in addition to some of the participant phone commands in the body of the invite. From there, you're going to simply choose your date and time, and then you can invite your participants. Now, if you're a Google Calendar user, you can also leverage our Calendar plugin for quick scheduling within any event. This actually works just like the Outlook plugin. OpenVoice for Google Calendar is available through the Google Chrome store, or you can also find the information on our support site. Now, once you've installed the plugin, get started by creating an appointment or meeting in your Google Calendar. In the meeting form, you're going to want to locate the OpenVoice application, and you're going to click Add OpenVoice Conference, what's highlighted here. Now, if you haven't yet logged into the plugin, it's going to prompt you to do so now. To configure the plugin, you're going to click the little settings icon highlighted here. This box is going to pop open where you can then choose the default and included phone numbers for your conferences. So this is the default number, and then here you can add any additional numbers in the body of the invite. From here, it's one click to schedule calls. As needed, you're going to click the Add OpenVoice Conference button in any invite. This will automatically populate the OpenVoice conference information within the Where field and the Description field. Then you can use the Add Guest entry to add your participants and click Save to send your invite. Now, another way to schedule or start your conference calls is using our free OpenVoice mobile app. The mobile app, it's available for iOS and Android devices, and you can download it from the iTunes or the Google Play Store. Both OpenVoice organizers and participants can use the mobile app, so just be sure to recommend this for any of your participants who may frequently join your calls from their mobile device. Now, the great thing about the mobile app is that it does all of the dialing for you with just one touch. So there's no need to dial the phone number, the conference room number, or the organizer PIN. You can simply tap once, and the app is going to do all the dialing work for you in an automated sequence. Now, the Android app, that specifically also includes a dial out feature. So when you're hosting a call from the app, you can actually have the app call out to an additional participant to add them straight into the call. Finally, you can also use the scheduling feature available in the organizer website when you're logged in at openvoice.com. Now, you may want to use this if you're not an Outlook or a Google Calendar user and can't utilize one of the plugins. Now, when scheduling calls through the organizer website, you're going to simply fill out the web form, including the subject of your call. And then here, you're going to add any details. Maybe you want to include an agenda or some talking points. Then select the date and time and the estimated duration of the call. And you're going to actually add your participants directly into the scheduling web form by entering in their names and email addresses. Click the Save button at the bottom of the web form. Your call is scheduled, and the participants, they're going to receive your invite via an email with a calendar event attached to the email. So keep in mind, when you schedule through the website, it's not going to automatically sync with the calendar or the OpenVoice mobile app. You're going to want to manually add the scheduled call to your calendar via the calendar event that comes attached to the invitation email. So now that we've reviewed the different options for scheduling calls, let's discuss how to actually start a call and how to manage your conference calls using the in-session controls and features. Starting a call is really easy. You're just going to simply dial the OpenVoice phone number for your country. Then you're going to dial the conference room number followed by the pound sign. Now, if you're the host or the organizer of the call, you're then going to hit star to identify yourself. Then you're going to dial the organizer PIN number followed by the pound sign again. And again, the organizer PIN, it's what identifies you as the host or the leader of the conference call, so you don't want to share that with others. There are going to be prompts on the phone bridge walking you through these steps. Now remember, your call participants, they only need the phone number and the conference room number to join. If you have participants joining from another country, the process is exactly the same, except for they're going to want to call the OpenVoice phone number for their location. So US callers are going to dial the US OpenVoice phone number, while the UK callers are going to dial the UK OpenVoice phone number. It's that unique conference ID is what bridges everyone together on the same call. And then typically, the participants, they are going to be put on hold until the organizer joins. However, this is actually a setting that you can adjust from your account if you'd prefer to allow your participants to chat and start the call before you join. Now, this specific setting, it must be adjusted by your internal company admin. Now, when you're hosting a call, you do have the option to log into the organizer website, and you can utilize the web controls to view and manage a conference call as it's occurring. Now, this can be super helpful, especially for larger conference calls. In the web controls, you do have access to various buttons for certain controls and commands, such as recording a conference, muting and unmuting. You could even lock your conference so no other participants may dial in. And notice there is also a tab here that's going to list all of the organizer and the participant phone commands, which can be super helpful to have handy in the event you need to utilize any on the fly. So if you do have access to a computer when you're hosting a call, the web control area can be super helpful. Now, I do want to point out star 8. Now, this is called lecture mode. Pressing star 8 the first time is going to put the conference in lecture mode. However, so basically it's going to mute everybody except for the organizer, and then the attendees can hit star 2 to unmute their lines. Pressing star 8 a second time is going to put the conference in lecture mode still. However, the participants will not be able to hit star 2 to unmute. And by pressing star 8 a third time, it'll turn off lecture mode and it's going to unmute everybody. As an OpenVoice organizer, you do have the ability to record your conference calls quickly and easily, either by using the web controls when you're logged in, by clicking the Record Conference button highlighted here, Or remember those phone commands, you can still hit *7, then 1 to confirm, and you can still record when you're on the go. Recordings are created in an MP3 format. They are stored in the organizer website for up to 12 months. Now you can also download the recording file and save it locally to your machine. So you can just right-click on the date and time here, do a save as, and you can save it locally to your computer. And you do want to allow about 30 minutes for a recording to be visible in the recording area of your account. After a call is complete, it can take a moment for the recording to process. Now you also have access to review your own historical usage with OpenVoice from the minute usage area of the organizer website. Now you can view a quick summary of your past conference calls for the past 1, 3, and 6 months. 1, 3, or 6 months. Now from here, you can actually click into a specific conference date and time. You can click in right here, and it's going to show you the details from that specific call. So it's going to show you the calling party information, so the number they dialed from and their join and leave times. Now you also have the option to export this information to an Excel report with just one click. And remember, you are going to automatically receive a conference summary via email every time you host or record a conference call with OpenVoice, but you can turn those notifications off from the settings at the very bottom under email notifications if you don't want to get those. So that does conclude today's training, but before we wrap up, a couple of quick key takeaways. Definitely use the mobile app to start or join calls with one click. Now, if you're an Outlook or a Google Calendar user, you might want to take advantage of the calendar plugins for quick and easy scheduling. If you do have access to a computer while you're hosting a call, log in and use the web controls for simple call management. You can use that lecture mode feature to easily manage participant muting controls for larger calls. And from time to time, you might want to update your conference settings depending on the types of calls you're hosting and your personal preferences. To wrap up our session today, we do want to remind you that as an OpenVoice user, you do have access to our customer care and technical support teams who are available 24/7. You can call in for support at any time or visit our support site online for self-serve resources, and you can even submit an inquiry online. I do want to thank everyone for viewing this training today, and please give us a call at 24/7 support if you have any questions. Thank you.